Hello and welcome to the second Art Fabula Podcast. The first one was just a pilot podcast, but this one is the real one. This is the first podcast for Art Fabula. But we are calling this one the podcast number 2, just to continue the tradition. This time I think I'm going to begin a series of podcasts that a lot of people wanted to hear. I have had a lot of feedback from people and a lot of questions, and I think I'm going to try to answer them in this series. People want to know how to make an art toy, and I'm going to try to help them making their art toy. I'm going to show how to think. I'm going to show how to make it possible in the real life. I'm going to add in the YouTube channel also a few videos about the same subject, and that is going to be a complement of this podcast. So you can hear it and then you can go to the podcast, to the YouTube channel and watch it, the videos there too. I'm going to, in the YouTube channel, you're going to see me doing something and showing how to do it. We are not going to create a real video, but I'm going to explain how you can create one of them. So this podcast today, we are going to talk about 2 things. We are going to begin with the part 1. I call it knowing what you want. And then we are going directly to the part 2 called the design process. So I hope you enjoy this podcast, and please feedback and everything, because I'm waiting for you. Thank you very much, and we begin now. This is the part 1 called knowing what you want. This part is the most important part of everything, because the beginning is going to mark how everything is going to end. So try to listen carefully and try to get so much information, as much information as you need. So the first thing that you need to know, that everyone needs to know, is to think about the objective, what you want. This is the title of the part, knowing what you want. This is the most important thing. You need to write down the thing you want to get at the end. Also, you don't want to navigate blind in this world, because you're going to lose money, you're going to lose time, you're going to lose your hair. This is too difficult if you don't have a plan. I was a little bit crazy in the beginning, because I made this error, and I'm not sure if I lose hair, but I lose money and I lose time. But I don't want that this happens to you. So please write down your objective. Take a piece of paper and put number 1, objective. What I want to do. In my case, for example, I want to make a company, a brand. I want to sell toys, and I want to sell vinyl toys and sofubi toys. And then, also resin toys. So that was my objective. But in the objective, you need to write down also how much do you want to get from your company. In the beginning, I was making this company as a hobby company, something to make behind the side of my full work as a teacher. But I think this is getting bigger and bigger. I don't know how it's going to end, but now my objective has changed. And this is something that you need to know from the beginning. Everything can change. Everything can change. But it's very good that if you write down, I wanted to make this company as a hobby company. Now it's getting something else. So what do you want from your company? What do you want from your toys? From this thing you are creating? What is the objective you want? So once you have written down this thing, this objective, the next thing you need to know is, because I'm completely sure that you're here because you want to do a toy. So this is what we are talking about. We are talking about toys and a toy company, a toy brand. This is what you are going to do. So the next question is, what kind of toy do you want to make? And here you need to have a little bit of knowledge about what kind of toys are out there. And this is a little bit difficult. It's not so difficult if you know the answer, of course. But if you don't know the answers, maybe you are going to be a little bit lost here. The first things to know is that there are a lot of kinds of toys. And if you want to make art toys, you need to think about what kind of art toys or what art toys means to you. I think the best thing to do is to define what an art toy is, because I'm completely sure that you want to make an art toy, a figurine, a toy, but that you want to make something artistic, something limited, something new, something in small scale, unique. So everything, these kind of things are toys. You don't want to make 3,000, 4,000 toys of the same kind. Those are not art toys. Those are mass-produced toys. So you need to think about, I want to make an art toy, and an art toy for me is this. Now, how many art toys, how many things that we can call art toys are in this world? Well, here we can discuss a lot of things. I'm not going to start a polemic or something like that. I'm just going to tell you what kind of toys there are out there. I think we can put it in three different areas. We can put it in the art toy, Western art toy thing, that began with the Chinese and Japanese art toys for a few years ago, but now it is more representative of the Western and Thailand and Korean also design. But these art toys are usually made in vinyl, hard vinyl. Then we have the sofubi toys, and these are the most soft vinyl, made in Japan, but nowadays in China or in other places. And the other one, I think one of the most popular right now is the resin toys. And the resin toys are, well, they are very big and popular right now. We are going to talk about this a little later. So with your objective, what kind of toy do you want to make? Do you want to make a vinyl toy? Also, for example, Kos toy in vinyl, hard vinyl, art toy. This is something that you want to do. My toy, for example, my Eggy, the first toy, this is a vinyl toy, hard vinyl toy. It's not a soft vinyl, and it's not a resin toy. So do you want to make vinyl? Then you need to do your research. And this is the third part. The third part is called what the public, what do they want from you? Like, what do you want from them? This is also a very, very big part, because maybe with this question you're going to answer the second question we had a few minutes ago. So what do they want? What do the people want right now? And the people want a lot of things. This is a business. This is not this is not a business, not for everyone. This is very important to say. For me, is 50-50. I want to sell toys, but I want to sell the toys I love and the toys I design. So it's not all about selling. But if I want to make this company as a company to live for, to live by, so I need, of course, to sell toys. But the question is, what do they want? Do they want cheap or cheaper toys? Do they want unique toys? Do they want toys painted by you? Do they want small toys? Do they want bigger toys? Big toys? So this is a big question to answer. This is the research you need to do. In 2004, when I was in this world 100%, when I was studying graphic designer, the biggest thing we had was the vinyl toy. So everyone wanted a vinyl toy. Everyone wanted to make a vinyl toy. Everyone wanted to buy a vinyl toy. So, of course, if I had made my toy in the early 2000s, I should have made a vinyl toy, because this is what they want, and this is what the factories, the companies made. And then you need to think about that size. It was very expensive then. Now it's cheaper to make bigger vinyl toys. And it was very difficult to make these kind of things then. But now it's, as I told you, cheaper. So do you want to make sofubi? Are people willing to buy sofubi, the Japanese method of making soft vinyl toys? Do you want a real sofubi made in Japan? Do you want to make the soft vinyl made in other countries? Do you want to make the vinyl toy, a real vinyl toy? Do the people want to buy your vinyl toy? Is your vinyl toy at least going to be attractive? How many do you think you're going to sell? Those questions you need to answer before you decide the toy you want to make. So your objective, and then the first question was, what is your objective? And then what is the kind of toy do you want to make, together with what the public want from you as a creator. So the question number 2 and question number 3 came together. And then, of course, the question number 4 is, when you know what people want, well, you choose your material. You choose vinyl, you choose the soft vinyl, you choose the resin. And here I have a lot of things to say about the materials, because this is something a lot of people need to know. The materials are very important. I think the most attractive material for me is the vinyl, the hard vinyl. You can make so smooth toys with so professional painted toys that they result in incredible piece of art. Really, really, really incredible piece of art. Then we had the resin toys that is getting bigger and bigger. They are cheaper, a lot of cheaper. You can do it in your home, and the quality is getting better and better. But then you need to do it all by yourself. Then after that, the other things you need to know is that the sofubi, for example, sofubi is something that a lot of people like or love, and there are a lot of people that collect sofubi just for that, because there is sofubi. So there's some kind of material love. I love sofubi toys. I love vinyl toys. I love resin toys. So a lot of people loves the material, and then they build their collections from this material. But I like, for example, sofubi. I love sofubi. Sofubi is so special. If you touch sofubi, you will feel the material a little bit different as the other ones. But also, if you feel not only that, then the process of making sofubi is very different of the process we make vinyl, the normal vinyl toy here in the West or in China. But the most important thing is to know that the sofubi, for example, feels more artistic, more unique, I should say. And this is something that you need to know. Do you want to make vinyl toys, as a real normal vinyl toys, hard vinyl toys? Then you need to make a lot of toys. We are talking hundreds of toys. And you are going to outsource everything, nearly everything, at least the production of the toys, because it's something that you cannot produce at home or near your home. This is something you need a professional to do, and they are willing to make these toys, but only if you do big productions numbers, like, well, maybe less 200, something like that. But here we have a problem, because if you want your toy to be unique, 200 is okay if you are normal or big company. But if you are a super big artist like Cause, you can make 500, 600, 1,000 of them, and it's no problem at all. But I think 100 is the limit for me, of the same design. You can paint themselves. You can make blank toys instead, and then make the painting mask and paint them yourself. It's not going to be as professional as it is in the fabric, but it's going to be maybe more unique, because you only choose the color, the design color, and then you make by yourself. It's going to take more time, but maybe the public will be appreciate this toy more. The other thing, for example, with sofubi, here we have a lot of problems, because nowadays a lot of people want to do sofubi, but sofubi is very difficult to do, the real sofubi in Japan. You need to know someone there in Japan that are willing to help you to do the toy. And trust me, it's very, very difficult to get a contact in Japan. Very, very difficult. It was easier before 2012, 13, 14, 15, but right now is nearly impossible to find. I'm making right now a sofubi in Japan. I found, after, I don't know, maybe 1 year looking for a person to make this thing, I found a company, and I found a professional there that is willing to make my toy. And the other problem, of course, is English. This is the worst thing of all, because it's very difficult to talk with the Japanese people. They don't understand English. These fabrics, these companies, these manufacturers are very small. They are often 1, 2, 3 people, and they don't understand English. They are families, old people making toys, so this is very difficult. And then the last kind of material you need to think about. Oh, sofubi, I forgot to say. Sofubi is not so... it's a little bit cheaper than the vinyl toy. Because I forgot to say in the vinyl toy that you need to make the moldings. And the moldings are very, 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 very expensive to make vinyl toys. Then, if you make 500, they are cheaper than if you make only 100. So making the molds is going to cost you a lot of money, and I'm talking thousands of dollars. And making all the production for the first toy, vinyl toy, is going to cost a lot of thousands of dollars. We are talking, I don't know, it depends on the toy, the design of the toy. We are talking about 4, 5, 6 and more $1,000. The Sofubi is a little bit cheaper. The molding cost money, of course, a lot of money. The wax mold cost also a lot of money, but then the production is cheaper and cheaper. But the masks, painting masks are very, very expensive. But at the end they are cheaper, but they are very difficult to find someone willing to make Sofubi toys, help you making Sofubi toys. So I'm not sure if this is a good idea for your first toy. The last part is, of course, the resin toy. Resin toys is getting bigger and bigger, and I think you should begin with the resin toys, because you can buy a cheap printer, 3D printer. I have my Lego Marsh 2 Pro, and it's working perfectly. My second toy, the Koburingo, is made by this. Is made in resin and made by this printer. And you can make 1, 2, 3, 4. You can make all the copies you want. You don't need to make 100. You can make maybe 10, paint them, and sell them. And then if you need more, you make more, you paint them, and you sell them. So it's a very good way to make toys, resin toys, and they are very popular because people like the cheaper price of the resin, and they like also this kind of new quality that is getting the resin toys. They are getting got this incredible quality. I didn't thought it was possible a few years ago. So I think if we should put some kind of how many toys divided by the kind of material, I should say that if you want to make more than 100 toys of the same design without or with paint, then you should do, of course, if you have the money, vinyl toys. If you, I don't know, by some kind of miracle, you find someone in Japan that they want to help you make Sofubi toys, and your market is in Asia, in USA too, but there, then Sofubi could be a good idea, but I don't recommend anyone to begin with Sofubi at all. Then if you want to make less than 100 maybe, and test the waters of this community, then the answer is begin with resin toys. So this is the first part, summary of the questions I had for you. What is your objective? What is what you want with you, your company, your toys? What kind of toy do you want to make? And inside this question are, what kind of public do you want to reach to? And what kind of material is the best for you? So think about these kind of things. Take a pause. Do something, write down all these answers, and when you have done, please continue to the part 2 of the podcast. next part of the process is the design process. And this is very important because this is what is going to form your toy. This is where you put your imagination on paper and do your work. But a lot of people began this part as the first one, and then try to think about what kind of material are going to make this design they designed. I think this is not, I'm not going to say that this is wrong, but I think for me it worked better to think about the market I wanted to sell my toys, the kind of people that they are interested in my toy before the design, because this is something that we need to think about. For example, if you make a toy, you have a design, you make a very slimed kind of design, and you think about, all right, this toy I'm going to make it in Sofubi. Then you're going to find out that maybe it's not possible to do because the form of the toy is not adequate to the material and the process to make the Sofubi toy. So maybe it's better to decide the market and the type of product you want to make, and then make the toy. Or the other way around, maybe if you already had or have a design, maybe now the next step would be adapting this design to the first part, the part we talk about the objective, the kind of material. Then you can change things in your design and adequate them to the kind of material you're going to use to make your toy. But in this part 2, we are going to talk about the idea. Where do you find the idea? Where can you get your inspiration? And what is the design process? I think a lot of people that are in this creative world knows how to do it. They have a lot of characters and creators in their minds, so they have an easy way to put all these kind of things on paper, and this is a good thing because they are already creative people. But there are a lot of people that just wanted to make a toy, that they just want to make some kind of they have a dream and they want to make their toy. And maybe they don't even know what kind of toy they want to do. So this is the part where I help you getting all your ideas down. So I think the first thing you need to do is to get inspiration. If you are here, if you are listening to this podcast, then it's because you are more or less inside this community. You have maybe bought some toys, or you have seen some toys. Maybe you have in the more mainstream art toy collection. Maybe you own a toy and you love it, and you have read more about this world, and you want to participate on it, and you want to make a toy. So this is the point. You need to find the next step, and the next step is to read about it. Go watch toys, buy toys if you want, because this is essential. Go on Instagram please, and look after the hashtag art toys, and look all the toys you see there. But not just one day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, and be inside this community as long as you need to be. You need to absorb what you see. You need to filtrate also what you see, because in the beginning you are only going to see the bigger participants, the bigger artists in this community. Maybe they are not the inspiration you need right now. You don't want to make another cause, another companion. You need to make your own thing. But maybe they can inspire you. You can get the inspiration from cause, the kind of toys he makes, something like that. But not, you don't want to make exactly the same thing. Because if you see, there are a lot of people that are making the same toys, but in different forms. If you understand what I'm saying. So Instagram, YouTube less, but Instagram is a very good place to find inspiration. Try to see the colors that are popular right now, for example, for your design. Make a note about the colors, the type of toys you see. Do you see a lot of angular, square toys? Do you see more rounded toys? What kind of toys do people like? Specify in the search what kind of material you're looking for. For example, if you have decided that you want to make a vinyl toy, then you should search for vinyl toys. Then you will see all the spectrum of vinyl toys on Instagram. If you, for example, want sofubi, you should search for sofubi and look what kind of sofubi they are making. And also, if you have the time, you should watch how they make this kind of toys. I think on YouTube there are a lot of videos about the process of making an art toy, and I mean the manufacturing process. So there are a lot of things that you can see on YouTube. How the sofubi is made in the fabrics, in the factories, how the rotomolding for vinyl is made, and of course how resin is printed on a 3D printer. So everything, those kind of things you can find easily, but you need to understand the process to make these kind of toys, and you need to see the designs that are already out there. When you understand the process of making an art toy, manufacture an art toy for this specific material you're looking for, then you are going to apply, you're going to see things that the normal people don't see on these pictures. For example, if you know how the molding process of the sofubi toys are made, then when you see pictures of sofubi toys, then you're going to recognize the amount of details that are possible to make on a sofubi toy, or for example the parts that are not possible to make in sofubi toys. So these kind of things you need to think about when you are looking for a style that you are interested for. When you have some kind of inspiration in your head, some kind of board with a lot of pictures, you can do it digitally or you can print them out, then you need to begin with the design process. For me, the best thing, maybe not right now, but before, the best thing I did was to use a real pen and a real paper and began to just make sketches. Nowadays I use an iPad to do this process. So I'm put all my ideas in an iPad. It's easier in an iPad because you can delete everything you did very easily, or put layers on top of each other and make things. So for me right now, an iPad is the thing. It works. The thing it working. But for you, maybe the better thing, if you don't want to pay for an iPad or something like that, you can use a pen or paper. Why not? You of course, everyone began with a drawing with a pen or paper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we are going to talk a little later. Are we going to talk about the money? So think about this. You don't want to spend all your money in your first figure. So you have found the design, you have found the style, you have found the kind of material, you have found how the material, the toy in this particular material is done, and you have everything on paper right now. How are you going to be satisfied with the design? When are you going to be satisfied with the design? Well, this is what all artists think about all the time. They are never satisfied with the design. This is the biggest problem. But there's something easy with something. I think is some kind of an easy thing with the toys, with the toy world. If we compare it to the, for example, the painted world or the painter's world. If you're painting something, if you're making a big picture or something like that to put on a wall or something, then you will never ever be satisfied with that one. You will always find details that you need to fix. If you make an easy figure, a round figure with not so much details, then you can say stop in an easy way. You can see, you can watch, you can found it. You can please your eyes, and then you can choose to say, well, this figure, this is enough. This is enough. And then you can maybe try to make different versions of the same figure. But this is very important too. You can change your figure all the times it needs before you go to the next step. So don't think just this is the first version, this is the version I have been working, this is the thing I'm going to sell, I'm going to make in 3D or I'm going to mold, etc. Now maybe you want to put your design apart 1 month, 2 months. You don't need to see and continue making more and more designs. Because if you try to make your first design, then you're going to lose all the experience you could get if you continue making designs. If you train making and designing toys on your iPad or on pen and paper, then the second design is going to be a little bit better than the first one. The third is going to be a little bit better than the second one. The fourth is going to be a little bit better than the third one, and etc. So then, after you have a few versions of your toy or a few designs, different designs for different toys, then you can take it and put it on the table so you see everything, and then you choose the best one. Now you have a lot of knowledge. Now you know, you have been in this community a long time. You know how software is made. You know how vinyl is made. You know how resin toys are made. You know also what people like, what people don't like, what is popular, what isn't popular, what kind of artists are out there. So you have this knowledge. You got this knowledge at the same time you put your energy and draw all these characters. So maybe now you see your characters in another way. You choose one of them. Maybe the first one was really good, but now that you have more knowledge, you can change it. You can do it better. You can do it in a way that you adapt it for the molding process that is coming a little bit later. For this is very important. If you make your design good enough from the beginning, you are going to save a lot of money. And I'm talking a lot of money. So my tips here is do, be, and make your toy. Do your toy. Be an artist that do the toy as good as possible from the very beginning, because it's going to cost you a lot of money to fix errors a little bit later. So this is the part 2 of this podcast, the final part. We have been talking about the design process, where to get the idea, what to do after you get the idea, and then try, and make a lot of designs. So we are going to continue next week with more part of the process. We are going to talk, for example, about the 3D modeling or the manual modeling of the toy, and then the molding process too. So we are taking a little pause here, and we are back in a few seconds. We are here at the end of the podcast. I hope you like this format. This is the first episode of a few in this series about how to make our toys. We have been talking about, in these 2 parts of this podcast, about how to make an art toy, thinking about the objective with your brand, and thinking about the toy we want to make and the public we want to reach and the material of the toys. Then we talked about the design process too, and how to find ideas and how to put them on paper. Try and error. Make wrong things. So this is the end of the podcast. I hope you like it and I hope you enjoy it. And please send feedback if you want. Send questions. I will try to answer the question in the questions in the next podcast if I get some questions. And of course, I want you to visit the YouTube channel Art Fabula, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe also to the podcast. I will put this kind similar series about the creation of art toys in video, so you can watch there too, how to make an art toys. And then you can subscribe to the newsletters, because I'm going to begin this 2022 year with the newsletters. And of course, like I told you, this podcast. So thank you very much for being here. We hear you next week. Bye.